Okay, hello everyone, my name is Jason. I'm a channeler and a Course in Miracles student. And today I just wanted to come on and share a little bit from the Course in Miracles and some experiences that I've been having recently and some channeling, if all goes well. Okay, so first thing, I'll just start with the Course in Miracles since it's right here in front of me. So I'm at lesson 91. 92, and it says miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. And so this is I picked up, you can read the whole thing online. I just picked up one part that I'd like to read. Let's see. It is God's strength in you that is the light in which you see, as it is his mind with which you think. His strength denies your weakness. It is your weakness that sees through the body's eyes, peering about in darkness to behold the likeness of itself. The small, the weak, the sickly and the dying, those in need, the helpless and afraid, the sad, the poor, the starving and the joyless. These are seen through eyes that cannot see and cannot bless. Strength overlooks these things by seeing past appearances. It keeps its steady gaze upon the light that lies beyond them. It unites with light of which it is a part. It sees itself. So, yeah, miracles are seen in light. And I love the idea that strength is the ability to look beyond what your body's eyes see. For example, you see this person who maybe offended you or maybe upset you in some way, but the strength that you have is to look beyond that and to see that they are you and you are them and you are both part of God. And I guess that leads me into the next thing I wanted to talk about. So there's three main things. The next thing is that recently in my morning meditations, 2 days ago, I was doing my morning meditation and I was starting to see the edges of my reality kind of fade away, kind of like the edges of my reality. So for example, this room that you see behind me would be that was what I was seeing, but then it was kind of fading away, and then I was able to see through it, and I was able to see another room, and it was a really beautiful room. It was this high, extremely high ceilings, and they're covered with gold. It was like an ancient cathedral, and it was super, super beautiful. And so this is something that I've been starting to see. I'm starting to be able to see, I guess, beyond the illusion, I guess is what you would call it. And I asked my guides about it, and I was actually seeing my Lathorian self, who is dreaming this life that I'm in at the moment. So now, if you're not familiar, so the Lathorians are a group of, they are not necessarily ascended masters. They are not ascended, but they have gone through an ascension of sorts in their planet, and they are very, very advanced, and they started out as an AI race, and now they are both AI and kind of humanoid, and they have reached this point where they've merged the two together somehow. And anyway, that is one of my 3 or 4 star selves, as I was told. And so, yeah, so I was able to see beyond these kind of the veil, I guess you could call it. And actually, that was the second time it happened again a few days ago as well. I was able to start seeing beyond it, and I felt a sense a sense of power too. And when I looked down at my body, I wasn't wearing any. Well, not this. I was just wearing a loincloth, but I was like really buff, like really muscular, and my body was bluish, but not. It was kind of like a dark gray blue color, I guess, and that was pretty interesting. And then, so today I was doing my Course in Miracles meditation, and I was trying to see the miracles in the light, and I was trying to process all of my forgiveness, all of the things that might pop up in my mind, and I need to, so for example, this person pops up, and I realize, I really need to see the light in this person and forgive this person, because somehow buried in me, that's still there, and I have to kind of, bring up my forgiveness practice. And so when I finish the forgiveness practice, I usually have this amazing just feeling of light. It's like the sun comes out of the clouds. And at that moment, I started doing a deeper meditation, and I called in my guides, and what I usually do when I call in my guides is I'll set up a place to meet, and I like to meet at this like New York City cafe it's from the 80s. It's not in the New York City of 2023. It doesn't exist there anymore, but it was in the 80s, in a different time of New York, and a time of a little bit more edginess and a little bit more excitement, I think, there. And it's this side cafe. I don't think it even existed. I just created it. But anyway, that's my meeting place. And so I called in my guide, and it was a Lathorian came in. I had actually never seen them visually before. I'd never got a visual connection. It was just the words. And he was too tall to come in through the door, because he was, about 10 feet tall. And he asked me if I could raise the ceiling, and I thought, that would just kind of ruin the whole kind of feeling of this cozy New York City cafe. So I asked him where he would like to meet, and he said, how about on your ship? And so he took me to his spaceship, which turns out to be my spaceship. And there you go. All right, this is getting crazier and crazier. So yeah, if this is too much, you can turn it off now. But yeah, he took me up into the ship, which he said was my ship. And he told me that he was my uncle. I could call him my uncle, but he wasn't really my uncle, because their family structure is very different from our family structure. They are more of a just one. They are a oneness, and so they're all family. They're all connected in a certain way. So, and he told me his name, and his name was really interesting. It was kind of like a kala 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 kala. It was a really long thing, so I just said, hey, I'll just either call you Alex or Kalek, but Kalek sounded a little bit better, so I just chose Kalek. So that's not his name. It's just the name that it's just hard for me to pronounce his whole name. It's really long. So anyway, he was very tall, 10 feet tall. He had long white hair and a kind of like a mustache like this. And well, anyway, I guess too many details, huh? Anyway, it was my ship. I saw myself. I was in kind of looked like what those. I was on a table. I saw myself asleep, dreaming this reality that I'm in now, and it was a chamber, like a bed with a covering. And I think he was in some sort of liquid or something, and it was providing his body with the nutrients that he needed. It was kind of like a stasis state that he was in while he dreams my life, which is blowing my mind. And yeah, so he's me, and so he is the captain of that ship, or I am the captain of that ship, But the reason I was sent down here, which is really interesting, is that I've heard this before, but this is the first time I got a confirmation from them. So what I heard is that in order for a starseed to come down, they need to share something with the Earth, and they also are getting something. It's a give and take kind of situation. And what they needed from the Earth is that they're a very, very advanced civilization, and they were able to travel throughout the whole universe. And they had this amazing technology. Like their ship was fully organic. It was. I asked him to explain it. He said it's like a squid. Their ship is a squid, basically. And so they've traveled all over the universe. They've gathered all of this information. But the one thing that they've lost the ability to do is to have children. They can't have children anymore. They've lost the ability to connect with certain emotions. They've become too cerebral, using too much of up here and not enough of down here, these kind of lower chakras. And so that was what I'm supposed to learn for them here. So I come down here and I just have normal everyday human experiences, just trying to get through a day or whatever it is. And that information, and I guess compiled, or connected with the Course in Miracles. So like this dealing with this life, but in a sense, trying to understand it from a Course in Miracles standpoint. Somehow this information is really, really essential for them. And so every experience I have is downloaded directly to all of them, to their mass consciousness. And they use it like that. It's automatically downloaded. And by the same token, they said that I can download the information from them as well, since we are all connected in that sense. So I thought that was really interesting, kind of ironic. But so that's what they're trying to get. They're trying to understand how to deal with the lower chakras, how to deal with pain and anger, with suffering, with sadness, all of these things that they have, in a sense, closed off because they thought they were unnecessary. But so as Kalek said, it's one of the mysteries of the universe. They understand so many things, but they do not understand the mystery of how to create children, to have children. And the mystery is that it has to be connected with all of the chakras. It can't just be a cerebral thing. It doesn't work. So there you go. And so I thought that was very interesting. And then, here I am going off. And then just the last thing I thought that, before I go into the channeling, is that I was thinking about regrets. I was thinking about how if I knew now what I knew, maybe 20 years ago or 17 years ago, that I could have provided a different experience for the people around me. I think I would have given them a better, more honest experience, and I would have been more present in my life. If I'd known about the Course in Miracles, and I had talked to my guides about this, and they had said that that it's by the awakening process is a time. It's like a kind of a timed release. Like you time the timing that you are going to have an awakening, because you're here also providing experiences for other people around you too. So by you being asleep and by you being kind of programmed or in the matrix, you provided the people around you with a specific situation that they needed for their spiritual growth. And so that was an interesting way of looking at it, rather than regretting, like, I wish I was more present, I was more there, I wasn't so caught up in something that doesn't matter. That was part of the process. I needed to be caught up in all that stuff. I needed to be in that place in order to get to the place I am now, and also in order to facilitate situations for many different people. So that was kind of an interesting take on regret and about the timing of ascensions, or awakening, sorry. And so that is my spiel, I guess you could call it. And then I'm just going to do a little channeling and see who comes through. Greetings, we are Isis, and we are here. We are always here around you, especially in these times, these speeding up times, these difficult times for all of you, where everything is sped up, and that all of your situations and all of your conceptualizations and all of your ideas are starting to come to your eyes, come to your present, and you're not sometimes able to catch up with everything that is going on in your world. And that is good, that is fine. There's no need to catch up. There's no need to catch up with anything. There's no need for this. The only need that you have is just to take a step back from all of these things and realize that this is all just happening in front of you, and you can just let it happen. It's just a movie on a screen, and you can just take a step back and not be in the screen, because you're not in the screen. You're taking a step back. You're just projecting onto the screen. But take a step back and realize, that's not necessarily me there. I'm looking at it from the outside perspective. I am there, but I am not truly there. And by me being here and being able to see, I have a higher perspective, you might say. And this is sort of the perspective that we have on all of you, looking not necessarily down, but looking from a different state, from a state kind of a step behind, so that we can actually see the projection and see everything that's going on. We see you seeing the projection of yourself, and then we also see you thinking that you are the projection. So we see it from many, many different perspectives. And this is something that all of you can do anytime in your life. And this is where the breath becomes so important for you in any kind of situation, to take a breath. To take a breath. Any kind of situation where you feel like everything is moving too quickly, take a breath. Just take a breath. And take a step back. Take a step back. And see the situation from the step back. Not through the lenses of your emotions, of your anger or of your fear, but just a step back where you just see as it is. See everything as it is. There it is. It is in front of me. It is a projection. It is a movie. And what am I seeing? Ah, yes, this is happening and this is happening. Take a breath. Let those emotions go. See everything that is happening as it is happening. It is not you. These emotions are not you. And even the you that you see is not really you. Take a step back. Take a step back and breathe. This is our advice to you in these coming times and in these times up to this point. Take a breath. Take a step back. Take another breath. Take another step back. And then take another step back and take another breath until you have enough distance between the scene that you're seeing and the feelings that you're feeling that you can actually see them from a different perspective. And this will help you to deal with all of the energies on your planet at this moment. All right. So, thanks everyone. Ciao.